What's going on, guys? Today I've got my 1 week later review of the eFones X1. Now, straight away, as you can tell, this phone is absolutely stunning. It's got that beautiful gold trim around it and that incredible black back. And what I would like to say, one of my main favourable features of this is genuinely the design. And you can really see that here. This sort of black colourway reflects all these different sort of colours. And it looks like a normal sort of black colour, but when you actually have it up to the light, you can see different types of purples, different types of just loads of different colours. And although it may be a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, it is absolutely stunning. And I think, they've done a very good job design-wise, and the gold trim really complements the overall design. That, combined with that incredible lion logo that I'm obviously a big fan of, I think, eFones have done an incredible job at design. And I do think that with both the Z1 and the X1, the newer phones that eFones have come out with, the design has really stepped up a notch, and they've done a great job. Following on from that, I really like the actual button placement. So you get a lot of Android phones nowadays that don't really feel natural with the phone design, and that's probably because sometimes they're just a little bit big. But this phone seems basically perfect for my hand size, and the buttons always seem to fit. Perfect location, nothing's too far out of reach, and overall a very well designed ergonomic phone as well. It has a very natural feel when I'm holding it, and has an overall very natural aesthetic as well, and that kind of complements the whole Made in Africa theme. Now, moving on to some of the more spec-based things, I found this phone to be extremely smooth in opening apps, and it has kind of surprised me because I wasn't expecting it to be this smooth. And one of the things I was thinking to begin with was, could it handle my usual gaming tests? So usually when I jump on these phones, I make them do the most demanding games, PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile, just to see what the phones can really do. I really pushed them to the limit, and this phone has, performed better than I expected by far. I mean, Call of Duty has been smooth and it's worked perfectly. Obviously, you're not going to get those incredible textures like you can see on more gaming centered devices, but obviously this phone price is a lot lower, and that combined with the fact that this phone is not made for gaming, I wasn't really expecting that. But I also wasn't expecting it to even be able to run these games, but it has been able to run them extremely smoothly. And I will show you a bit of gaming later on so you can see exactly what I mean. There was literally no lag, and the only lag that we really get here is latency lag, and that's just based on our internet. But yeah, overall, done a great job on the gaming side of things. Another thing I'd like to jump into is when I like to read the news in the morning. The news and the scroll speed of this device, again, very, very good and very crisp. I was expecting perhaps maybe a little bit of lag, but you can actually see, if I open up the settings, you'll be able to see probably a little bit better, but you can see how smoothly that actually scrolls there, and there's no lag, no latency delay, and I just think overall the smoothness of the phone is very good, and the actual phone performs a lot better than I was expecting, especially considering it only has about 3 gig of RAM, and I was really shocked. So it must be super high performing RAM, and it's something I always say with devices, it's not about the amount of RAM, it's actually the quality of RAM that you have to worry about. And sometimes 4 gig of RAM can perform better than 8 gig of RAM as long as it's well designed, and high quality RAM, it sometimes just works better, and that seems to be the case with this phone here. These 3 gig of RAM are really well optimized for this device, and therefore it uses them practically perfectly, and I have not had any real lag, and I don't really have any complaints in terms of the RAM side of things. And that leads on to the chipset, because obviously they work side by side, and clearly these are well integrated, because if they weren't, you would see some delays, and I have seen it in Android phones in the past that have 6 or 8 gig of RAM and a good chipset, but the coordination is just not there, and you just seem to have the lag even though all the components are there. But this seems to have, even though it has a slightly lower spec chipset, which is a MediaTek Helio A20, and only 3 gig of RAM, they work really well together, and they are well integrated, and the phone runs smoothly. Part of that, and a big compliment to the actual smoothness, is the display. display. Now this is a HD Plus display as dubbed by Mara phones, and the display is extremely good. Now it's not one of the best displays I've seen, but it is extremely good and it does the job for the price. HD Plus is fairly vague, I thought. It's bright, as you can see. It has colors which are extremely accurate. Sometimes you can get phones which oversaturate colors and make it look a bit tacky, but this is very accurate, no graininess, and overall super clean. Again, very impressed. Moving on to the camera. Now I knew the camera was going to be good because you have that 13 megapixel main camera. Now this isn't your 108 megapixel Xiaomi camera that you see on a top flagship Xiaomi phone, but it is a big camera for a phone in this price range. And I will show you a bit of photography now and you can really see what I'm talking about. Now we'll move on to the selfie camera now, and you'll see a couple of my selfies here. And the selfie camera, it does the job. 8 megapixel selfie camera, it's good enough and it works. So overall, cameras, I'm not worried about them and they do the job and they do it well. I think the processing of the camera quality is very good as well. Some people like to use Google Camera on their Android devices to get a more realistic view. However, I think the actual in-app camera within the Mara phones has actually worked really well with this and it looks very natural just normally. The display, again, when you want to look back through your photos, for example, you've got a big display. You've got just over 6 inches display, 6.088 inches, and I think it looks great. And you have a lot of room, so if you're watching movies, watching videos, playing games, you've got that room. Now, one of my criticisms is the fact that it has that water droplet camera there. Now, I'm not a big fan of cameras that impose on the display, and although this is fairly thin actually in terms of some of the cameras that I've seen, and it's not too imposing, I would like to see something integrated perhaps in the top corner, or even something similar on the lines of what we've seen in the past with Honor and 9Xs where it comes out the top. I think that would be great and it would free up some more space on the display. Now hopefully this is something we can see in the future, but for now, as far as cameras go, this isn't too imposing on the display, but that's just maybe an improvement that we can hopefully see in the future. Now the price is £199.99, and I think for that you're getting a great phone and also you're going towards a great cause. If you don't know about Mara phones and you don't know the story behind them, it's really something you should look up because the ethics, the sustainability, and the employment that Mara phones provide is absolutely incredible, and it's something you should really look at, and it really makes you willing to make that jump in perhaps price because you know it's going to a good and reliable source. Now if you want to see a full description of that and a full Mara phones breakdown with the story and the donation things and the work they actually do, click that link in the description below and you'll be able to see a full breakdown of what Mara phones are really about. They're not your typical phone brand and they really are a great cause to get behind if you're thinking about going on a more sustainable and ethical side of mobile phones, which not many people are really doing yet. So I think it's a really good step in the right direction, and especially that it's bringing employment to Africa, as this phone is made in Africa, and you can really see it on the back here. It says made in South Africa. So you can see that there, and that is something that we really like the idea of, and that is why here at ePhones and at Livewire that we've got behind this, and we think it's a great idea. So overall, this Mara phone is an incredible phone, and obviously it's going to get extra points from me because I think that the ethics and the sustainability of the brand is a really good and brilliant idea, and I think that Mara phones are taking a step in the right direction, and this is going to be something big, guys, and I do believe in that honestly. So it's getting extra points for that, and I would give this phone a solid 8.5 out of 10, and I think it does the job, and it also makes you feel no guilt because you know that the Mara phones is a good, honest company as well to get behind. So yeah guys, tell me what you think. If you got any questions about the Mara phone X1, let us know in the comments below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you guys very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.